For attacking a judge just as she was about to pronounce sentence. And today was back in court. And this time, security was on high alert.
They're taking no chances this time. The out-of-control defendant who leaped over the bench to attack a judge was back in court today. A spit hood covering his head, his hands in shackles with special coverings. At least 8 court officers stood at the ready if he tried anything. He also faced the same judge he attacked when he made that flying tackle over the bench last Wednesday.
I want to make it clear that I am not changing or modifying the sentence I was in the process of imposing last week before I was interrupted by defendant's actions.
Judge Mary Kay Holth's sentence Diobra read in today to a minimum 19 months in prison for attempted battery.
Make it clear that I am not.
His hands in shackles.
From Hannibal Lecter to Hannibal Nectar, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting edition of Random Topic Tuesdays. We have several topics to explore, but first, let's just take a brief commercial break. Whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today. But if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on through our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace. Welcome to another exciting edition of Random Topic Tuesdays. I had to talk about this topic because they got this brother is going to jail for 19 months for an attempted battery. Up in Nevada, I believe. I don't know how they charge it. And he might be a repeat offender, and it's probably it has nothing to do with the charges that he was in jail, obviously in court for before this judge, Mary Kay Holtis, had nothing to do with her sentencing, according to her. That's what she said. So she kept jurisdiction over this even after this assault. And they had him like Hannibal Lecter. This is Hannibal Lecter. They got orange mitts on him, a spit hood. I mean, they came prepared. This is the whole damn sheriff's office that's in this one courtroom. Yeah. This one got mittens on. Yeah, they made sure. You know, I sped this up obviously for copyright issues, even though I'm claiming fair use because, and I'm just looking at the video, just playing it, guys. It's actually more funnier when you speed it up and you see him flying through the air.
In shackles with special coverings. At least 8 court officers stood at the ready if he tried anything. He also faced the same judge he attacked when he made that flying tackle over the bench last Wednesday.
I want to make it clear that I'm not changing or modifying the sentence I was in the process of imposing last week before I was interrupted by defendant's actions.
Judge Mary Kay Holtis sentenced D.O. Reddin today to a minimum 19 months.
I don't believe that. She wanted to send him to jail. Now, he had been a repeat offender and been in trouble with the court before, but she was about to give him some jail time, but I don't think she was going to give him the minimum, they say, is 19 months.
Prison for attempted battery. In prison for attempted
Defendant's actions.
Judge Mary Kay Holtis sentenced D.O. Reddin today to a minimum 19 months in prison for attempted
minimum of 19 months for attempted
battery.
Now, this is in Nevada. Let's just look up the law in Nevada. Generally speaking now, battery is only a misdemeanor as long as no deadly weapon was used and no one sustained substantial bodily harm or injury or strangulation. So this can't be a misdemeanor. Now, they say that Reddin suffers from schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and had been off his meds, but that seemed like that was more than bipolarism. Now, I've dealt with clients who are like that, but it ain't a good feeling. So he got sentenced. And his mother is saying he was triggered. So he's supposed to appear in court today, I guess. According to Clark County detention records, he was supposed to appear in court today, which is Tuesday, where he's facing charges related to the courtroom attack, including attempted murder, extortion, coercion with force, and a battery on a protected person, referring to the judge and the officer who came to her aid. Yeah, he's not getting out anytime soon. But she said, I'm going to add a little bit on here. So they're saying, I don't think his actions were premeditated. It probably wasn't. When he heard jail, I think that's just what made him snap. But anywho, ladies and gentlemen, let's take, as we move on, let's just take a look at Superman again, flying through there, up in the sky. It's a crow. It's a bat. It's Super Felon.
When he made that flying tackle over the bench last Wednesday. Over the bench last Wednesday. Flying tackle over the bench last Wednesday.
I want to make it clear that I'm not changing.
Wednesday. When he made that flying tackle over the bench last Wednesday.
I want to make it clear that I'm not changing or modifying the sentence I was in.
I couldn't help it, y'all. I'm sorry. I know I'm no good. What's up? Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Oh, what's good, Danielle? I'm going to try and stay up as long as possible for the live, Gavin. I'm so sleepy from staying up most of last night. Yeah. Thank you, Danielle. You know, what happened last night, fam, if you don't know, especially if you don't live in Louisiana, we had like the first major storm of 2024 and a big rainstorm that came in out of nowhere. And I'm talking about rain, and then strong winds gusting stuff over, knocking stuff over. So it's like a squall for about this was like a junior hurricane or junior tropical storm that came through out of nowhere. I think pushed through Texas and made its way to Louisiana. Yeah, it was real bad. And so not necessarily. It depends. Did this lawyers file a competency hearing? See, that's another thing. The issue with insanity, think, Bookie, that's a good question. With insanity and insanity pleas, a person, when you want to determine if they're insane or not, if you're a defense lawyer, you got to file what's called a motion to determine competency, and the court will have court-appointed doctors, psychologists, or psychiatrists who examine them and make a determination whether that person is fit to stand trial or not. And if they're not fit to stand trial, then what typically will happen is that the charges are going to get dismissed. Now, interesting enough, even if a person is found incompetent, sometimes what they won't do is dismiss it. They may wait until that person goes to a mental treatment facility, gets treated, and then determines whether or not afterwards, if they're competent, they could proceed with the trial. But I had a case today. Actually, I had a client who actually was dealing with schizophrenia, but his case was dismissed because he had a long mental history of that, and the psychiatrist found it out and examined him, and the DA, and it's misdemeanor, the DA just decided we're going to throw this thing out. Sorry, I have to drink some water. Whew. We are live, and I'm coming at you with 5. What's going on, family? What we got going on today? What's up? I gotta read this here and bookmark and stuff. I don't know if she's watching, but let's give a warm shout out, D Tubman. D Tubman liked my post on X. I gotta get used to that. I say Twitter. But D Tubman is retiring from moderating, I believe, this year to focus on her health. And I just want to say, D, if you're watching, first off, I hope you are blessed. I hope you're safe. Happy New Year, first and foremost, in 2024. And I hope you are doing great. And I wish you nothing but the best. So we're going to miss you. And I hope you do come back, because she's been a real help with me. And, she's supported. I've never met D, but she's supported this channel. So I just want to say shout out to her. Shout out to her. I said, hope. Why am I starting to sound like Magic Johnson? What is up with my head, y'all? You guys, I must be stressed out. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what it is, but I don't know what it is. Excuse me. I just keep messing up. I'm flipping up all over the place with my freaking words. So, Squash 86 said he dove over the bench like Hayes from the Mod Squad. All right. So Squash is not. I know he's not in his 30s because he's actually seen the Mod Squad, and we millennials haven't. At least not the. At least we've seen the Omar Epps version, but not the Clarence Williams III. It's like I've never watched the Mod Squad. I call him Super Felon, Super Negro. He dove over like the Royal Rumble when they throw you off the top rope. That's how he's like Jeff Hardy, and they had him looking like Hannibal, Hannibal the Cannibal up in there. Cannibal Soup. So he was sentenced to 19 months to 4 years in prison on attempted battery. Okay, so the reason why I guess it was up to that point, because battery typically is a misdemeanor, was because if there was it looks like a dangerous weapon involved, and from what I was looking at on the news article, they said he had a baseball bat. So it was a baseball attack on a person. So that's why they upped it to 19 months. But I personally think that incident played a factor in it? Absolutely. I don't believe the judge when she said she was not altering or changing her sentence because of that. Bullshit. She should have been recused, in my humble opinion, because judges have to avoid the appearance of impropriety. But was she within her rights to keep it? I mean, yes. Are they going to actually stop her from doing it up in there? Probably not. They're not going to stop him. But hey, I knew the brother was done the minute he dove over. So we are live, guys. A lot has happened in the last 48 hours. That was one of those things. What I really wanted to talk about, our main thing, of course, tonight, is this incident. Now, as you know, it's 2024, and it is election season. It is the time that we elect a new president in November. So campaigning has started. And Joe Biden actually went to Mother Emanuel's Church out in South Carolina. Now, those of you who remember, of course, Mother Emanuel is infamously known for the shooting, killing of several people, 9 people, by Dylan Roof. And so there was a lot of people. I see that the Hill even did an article, video. They said Biden should be ashamed for lying to black voters at Mother Emanuel Church. I also saw our brother, Professor Blacktruth, did an excellent video about Biden and trying to speak, and him speaking at Mother Emanuel Church. And what happened in particular was during the campaign speech, Biden got heckled. Did you see this? Now, let's just play. I'm going to play, I guess, this is a 37-minute or 33-minute speech. And it's not a surprise that Joe Biden came to Mother Emanuel, because Biden has been losing black support. We've talked about that on our program many times before, guys. We've talked about how he's been losing support. MSNBC did a video on it. So he has reached out, of course, to the church. And I want to say this, even as somebody, and I identify as Christian. And some of my followers, some of my friends, I get it that you all don't. I can say, though, even as a Christian, someone that believes in Jesus Christ, why so many young people, and even I, to a degree, I have to admit, I have become disillusioned with the church, because the church, especially today, has led the sheep astray. The shepherd has not kept watch over his flock as Christ had commanded. When he talked about how he was the good shepherd and a shepherd tends to his flock. And I'm talking all denominations. I'm Catholic, but in general, especially black, and we have black Catholic churches, believe it or not, but in general, young people are leaving the church more and more. And part of it because they see it as a hustle. Now, I'm not going to get into religion and so forth, but what I'm stating is that they and whoever is over Mother Emanuel Church, the pastor of Mother Emanuel AME, let's talk about AME. The AME Church, which is the African Methodist Episcopalian Church, that's what AME stands for. That was created by, and this is Mother Emanuel. This is Allen. Yeah. They call themselves the Purpose of the Sons of Allen. That's, I guess, these are the men who run the church, just like we had, males group, men's group, the male ministry that helps the church. Just you can look on their website and just look at it. So this is what they call themselves, Sons of Allen. And it was Richard Allen, if I'm not mistaken, who created the AME Church because blacks were being discriminated against. He was a bishop at most churches, especially the Methodist and Episcopalian churches. Racism was everywhere. He founded the AME Church in 1794. All right? Out in Philadelphia. And Mother Emanuel, if you look at the history, had its early roots from them. And this is up in Charleston. So this looks like this church was created in 1816. So he founded the AME Church in 1816, and Mother Emanuel came up in 1818. Around that time. Now, they had this. And he says Republicans are trying to steal history. Now he's sitting there. That's old Clyburn, Fish Fry Clyburn. And they do this thing where they're talking about how Republicans are trying to steal history and push, and how he's trying to push for racial equity, saying instead of erasing history, we're making history. This is the same Joe Biden who 45, 50 years ago said he didn't want his children integrated into a racial jungle. Clyburn, let's not forget, is the one who started Joe Biden's campaign in 2020. And Clyburn, I believe, was the one who said how Joe Biden was a black man. I don't know if he said this, if it's true or not, but I remember reading I certainly remember reading in Black Enterprise that he started something along the lines where he said Biden was like an honorary black man. I'm not quite sure. I don't want to say the wrong thing. But he had urged Biden to pick a black woman as his vice president, and they didn't get that yet anyway. And Clyburn himself has even said he's very concerned voters don't know it. He's very concerned about Joe Biden. He said this. This is Clyburn. So the bootlicks are getting nervous because they know after this, if Biden loses, it's over. He says, I'm concerned with his standing with black voters. what happened, of course, is they interrupted Biden at this church, at this service, and y'all just listen to what happened here. Hold on. So this happened.
The truth is under assault in America. As a consequence, so is our freedom, our democracy, our very country, because without the truth, there's no light. Without light, there's no path from this darkness.
If you really care about the lives lost here, you should honor the lives lost and call for a ceasefire in Palestine.
Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! That's all right. That's all right. That's all right.
They're chanting 4 more years. 4 more years of failure. Remember this.
Thank you. Thank you. Look, folks, I understand their passion, and I've been quietly working with the Israeli government to get them to reduce and significantly get out of Gaza, using all that I can to do that. But I understand the passion. Look, folks, after the civil... Thank you. Well, thank you.
Oh, Lord. You's a good man, Mr. Biden. You days are bad. That's an old black woman. I wish they would have put the camera on her. My God, this is what you got to do. Paid minions. Yeah, I believe those were paid actors that did that too. Don't be surprised if you think those weren't paid actors, ladies and gentlemen. Now you go, I haven't even checked this, but let's just look at CNN.
Thank you.
So they start this. Where's Ruler? I know Ruler. Look at all that. Look, this one is high. Yeah, Joe. Give him, Joe. Give him, Joe. Give him, Joe.
Thank you. Thank you. It's going to go to my head. Please. Thank you.
Jim, they voted for this.
You know,
they're old Negroes.
Just say one thing about what Jim has been talking about that confusing me about our Republican friends.
Look, the likes to dislikes. So it's 14,000 likes to 4,000 dislikes. Of course, it's on CNN. They're going to say this. Now, I haven't watched the speech. I don't want to fall asleep here. But they say he's a kind man. These could be bots. Of course, it's on CNN that they're doing this. But y'all honestly think Biden, so here's what we do know from all of this, guys. The Democratic Party is in trouble. They clearly are in trouble because they have to have these shills out there supporting Joe Biden. They did this at Mother Emanuel Church, where you had the killing by Dylan Roof back in 2015, mind you, almost 10 years ago. Hard to believe because I remember that. And you have these plants, especially, this is what my opinion, after what we saw in last year, at the end of last year with Palestine versus Israel, with the Gaza, what's going on in there, all the stuff that's happening. And now he's coming forward He's coming forward and doing his press conference, his campaign, starting in Mother Emanuel's Church. It is not a surprise, not a coincidence that he did it there. And you have some Negroes who are falling for it, but these are old Negroes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not falling for it. You should not fall for it. This is a president who has not been a great president in terms of doing things for Black people in this country. He stated and promised that, remember when he ran and he got elected, he had our back. We have never had any type of bills against policing that has been passed. You have not had a Black man on the Supreme Court outside of Clarence Thomas that's been selected. He selected a woman who doesn't even know what a woman is, a Black woman at that. He has not lived up to his promises in terms of getting this economy even back on track. We've suffered, we've suffered. Gas prices are still high. Now people are going to say, "Oh, you can't blame Biden for that," but some of you all are the same people that blame Trump. The border crisis is bad. That's something you can't deny. You're just letting people freely in. You have Democratic mayors who have put these lax agendas in place, these lax rules where they're just letting it, like in Chicago, Brandon Johnson, in New York, Eric Adams. You let all of these people just come in because you think they're going to overtake and balance, obviously, the scales when it comes to these elections, where they're going to vote strictly Democrat, when it's going to blow up in your face, because a few years from now, when they get the right to vote, although some of them have even gotten the rights to vote and gotten free monies, guess what? They vote Republican. They vote Republican. And you honestly think they're going to vote Democrat? They're going to support you? You think you're going to be in office long? Bill Biden is getting ready to be Jimmy Carter. He's going to be Jimmy Carter. He's going to be George Herbert Walker Bush. And he's going to be Donald Trump. He's only going to be a one-term president. That's my personal opinion. Nobody, and part of the reason why that's going to happen, a lot of people are not going to show up at the polls. If you're not giving us any tangibles, if you're not giving us anything of substance, and you're giving these little symbolic speeches, "Oh, I did this at Mother Emanuel." So what? John McCain spoke and campaigned at the Lorraine Motel where Dr. King was assassinated. And John McCain was the one that fought hard against a Martin Luther King holiday in Arizona. Who cares? What are you offering? If you're not offering tangibles, guess what? You're not getting my vote. And guys, do not let Negroes like Roland or, Tom Jones not there, but I'll even take this for Ricky Smiley, D.L. Hughley, Steve Harvey, any of them try to trick you and shame you into it. Half those guys who are celebrities, they don't know what they're talking about. They're getting monies from the damn. Ricky Smiley even admitted when he was interviewed by Shannon Sharp how they actually talk with each other. Him, Steve, and DL about when we get these politicians on, what we're going to be doing. So it's all tied in. Give me something. Or don't give me nothing at all. Keep it moving. Y'all hit the like, share, and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that notification bell. So something else I wanted to talk about. We're moving, man. We're moving. Look, so Katt Williams, I wanted to just follow up with this final thing. Katt Williams actually has done another interview, this time with Willie D. He was on Willie D. I think it was a live broadcast, and it has already garnered 1 million views. And in the broadcast, and I listened to it, Katt talked about a lot of things, including beefs he's had with fellow comedians like even Ali Sadiq, issues with how he served his time with Minister Farrakhan, also his arrest, being arrested by Suge Knight and so forth. This was over 10 hours ago, and you got 1.5 million views. I just want y'all to look at. Now, I don't want Willie D to give me a copyright strike for playing his stuff, but I just wanted to show you all, if I could, this thing's here. And one interesting thing, Katt was talking about his time as even a member, I think briefly as a member of the nation, but he said he was actually a member practically of all different religions. So he actually lived and did different stuff. And he said that's how a person becomes knowledge and gets closer, in his opinion, to God, to know the truth. That's what he's saying. Now, you're talking about 1.5 million views. If Katt Williams right now wanted to start his own radio show, his own podcast, he could do and garner, I'm very sure, he can garnish 2 million views, I think, in one day. And I'm not exaggerating that. Probably more. If he wanted to do radio, he could do that. He set the internet on fire just the last week or so when he went on Club Shay Shay and talked about people. And so everybody has been attaching themselves, trying to attach themselves to Katt Williams. I've given my 2 cents on it. I think, Katt Williams, of course, is one of the best stand-up comedians in the game right now. I would say even top 100 all time. The brother, when you look at the specials he's done, I didn't see his last special. I heard the last one he did on Netflix wasn't that great. I didn't care for it, but I've enjoyed his stand-up nonetheless. I think when he did the Pimp Chronicles was my favorite one that he did on HBO. And Katt is always writing new material, doing new jokes. So the brother is sharp. And, he definitely, I think the big respect that I have for him is that he could have gone further in his career doing movies and so forth. He's done movies and could be, he could be in the position of a Kevin Hart or who's the other one? Well, it looks like they even, that's another thing, guys. It looks like they only allow like one great black comedian at a time in Hollywood. But, he didn't want to compromise his morals about stuff. Now, I don't think, and I disagreed with him on something when he did his Club Shay Shay interview. Even though I understood what he was trying to say, he brought up Ricky Smiley and Ricky Smiley's son, and he made a remark about being gatekeepers and so forth, and something along the lines about how Ricky Smiley's son, people believe in rituals. That's why, him being a gatekeeper, I'm paraphrasing now, but I believe the quote was that Ricky, there's no wonder people believe Ricky Smiley sacrificed his son or something along those lines. I thought that was borderline. Although listen to it, I understood what he was saying, and I don't think he was taking a shot at the decedent. But I was thinking, I don't know about that. But that was the only drawback I had with the interview. But yeah, if you go on Willie D Live's channel, they broke the internet already in just 10 hours. And let's see if y'all can hear the channel. He's talking about the industry.
Nothing. I like it.
Shit, I don't know who you think you're talking to.
I like it.
now you
I love my op as myself.
Yeah.
I think it's great. On our side of things, it's flourishing. It's never been better. All the people on our side are seeing that prayers do work and that you really have control of your mind more than you think you do. And if you could somehow possibly stop thinking the way you do and think another way, it might help you. And you'll know right away if it does. That's the benefit, is each one of these days you're getting could really be the one.
What's one of the wildest things that has happened to you or you've seen happen in your time in this entertainment space?
Yeah, sorry, Vlad. I I ain't seen nothing. I collect the footage, but I haven't seen anything.
You were doing so good, man. I mean,
Yeah, that's another thing too. Vlad TV. I heard Vlad was upset because Katt Williams actually Club Shay Shay got so many views, more than I think what Vlad had would get on just that one interview alone. You know that it's gotten over 40 million views last time I checked. So Vlad doesn't even have that for the sit downs he's done with other rap artists and so forth. It may take him 2 or 3 days to get that. And Shay Shay was able to get that. And I'm talking about getting 40 million in less than a week. So Shannon Sharp, you know, the big winner in all this is Shannon Sharp because he left Undisputed on Fox Sports, went to ESPN First Take, and also has his own 2 podcasts, one with Ocho Cinco and one now that he does with by himself. So he's actually done quite well. So Shannon Sharp is the winner of 2024 so far. But what say you all? Katt is telling the truth. Katt is speaking his truth. How you feel about Katt Williams? Shout out to everybody that's watching, especially those on X, Facebook, and here on YouTube on our different channels. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about is Jonathan Majors is back in the news. Now, Katt, I told y'all about the joke he did. Y'all saw that on Jonathan Majors. Now, Jonathan Majors is back in the news. Now, this is somebody Katt Williams even talked about. Shout out to you. What's up, Deronda Brown, Keating Rourke, yeah, Cece, I see you, One Who Cares, all of y'all. How y'all doing in the chat? Ladies and gentlemen, before I continue, I need you also to please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And look, hey, this channel is not monetized. So if you love me for my time, pay me for my time. I'm not asking for donations or anything like that, but I am asking if you agree and love the channel, you love what I do, and you want to support, then yeah, please donate. Wait, I just said that. Huh. Drop some jingle in here, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to move into our final topic. I analyzed and saw the Jonathan Majors interview he did when he sat down with ABC News, when he sat down with Lindsay Davis of ABC News discussing his verdict last year where he was found guilty on 2 charges of assault, 2 out of 4. Now, it was misdemeanor reckless assault and harassment, but he was found not guilty of intentional assault and harassment, which I didn't think made any sense. I thought personally, Jonathan Majors, and I believe this from a legal perspective, had or has a great grounds for an appeal based off the judge allowing some information to come in, and possibly, in my opinion, just from what I've known preliminary about the defense attorney, maybe even an ineffective assistance of counsel, possibly. I don't know for a fact, but I said that because it's my understanding Jonathan Majors' lawyers didn't make a self-defense argument, which the jury didn't consider. And probably they should have considered it. Had they made that argument, could have done so. Also, the text messages that were brought in, that was because of a question that the defense attorney had stated originally. Y'all remember those questions, those text messages, those recordings were kept out. Those text messages from 2022 were kept out. The prosecutor was able to bring that in because they said that the defense opened the door. So his defense attorneys, to me, screwed up. But I want to play this. So this is Jonathan Majors' interview with ABC News. And let me say fair use first off, but I want to tell you, this is, Brother Dwan B called this is crying Luther King. I call him Sadness X because he's trying to get back into Hollywood's good graces. He's got bell bottoms on. Looking like King the Conquered right now. Just, you're going to see this and watch this. So I got got it sped up for copyright issues, but Jonathan Majors breaks his silence. Now, the main thing you want to look at when you're seeing this, guys, is that he's doing this interview on ABC News. Who owns ABC News? Disney. Disney owns not only 20th Century Fox, Disney owns ABC News, ESPN, I believe National Geographic. If I'm not mistaken, do they even own Hulu? Disney has control of a bunch of stuff. They also got Disney Plus. But yeah, the whole 20th Century Fox library belongs to Disney, Walt Disney Company. So they have all of these subsidiaries. With Disney owning different shit. So, and ESPN, ABC, so that's a lot. So let's go ahead and play this.
Why did you decide you wanted to talk now?
I felt like it was time. A lot has happened in my personal life, in my career, in the culture. And conversely, the impact of this is about responsibility and coming forward and being brave and giving my part of the story.
In an ABC News exclusive, actor Jonathan Majors sat down with me in his first interview since a jury handed down a guilty verdict for reckless harassment, a misdemeanor, and a violation of harassment in the second degree.
You know, I haven't seen my daughter in a long time. You know, and a lot of it has to do with this situation. It all has to do with the situation, and she needs to see this. And the hard things need to be done, but it's been hard. You know, everything's kind of gone away.
The 34-year-old actor was a rising star.
This is our family story.
Known for his roles in HBO's Lovecraft Country, Creed 3,
I'm coming for everything.
and Marvel productions like last year's Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
You're an interesting man. Scott Lang.
And it was on that movie set back in 2021 where he met 30-year-old British dancer Grace Jabari. The pair dated.
Now, y'all think about this. I'm thinking of Katt Williams when I hear this one. He said, why anybody think anybody with a big old nose? This dude look like my father. Now, I'm looking at this, and you look to your right, Grace Jabari. What did he see in thinness? Not a curve in the family. He dated a stick bug. He got a walking stick as a girlfriend. A walking stick has brought down Cain the Conqueror. I don't know what this brother thought. Now he's gonna talk about it, but there's nothing pleasant about her. Just
Jabari. The pair dated until March of 2023 when Majors called 911 the day after a fight that was caught on surveillance video.
What happened exactly? Do you know?
No, I don't know. She's unconscious. She's my ex-partner. We broke up. I came back. She sent me text messages insinuating as much. I stayed in a hotel last night. I came home this morning.
Police found Jabari on the closet floor of their apartment. Majors was arrested by New York City police, accused by Jabari of assault, strangulation, and harassment, convicted last month, but acquitted of 1 count of assault and 1 count of aggravated harassment, meaning the jury didn't believe he assaulted her intentionally.
Your reaction to that verdict?
Now, I want to say this too. Now, I don't know what the defense attorney said, but when you look at this, okay, they took these pictures of her. She's lying in the apartment, which you see on the body camera. He finds her unresponsive. She's unresponsive in his apartment. How we don't know someone didn't put hands on her before he arrived? He spent the night at a hotel. She's passed out. God knows how she got that way. She probably doesn't even remember. She's out partying.
Your reaction to that verdict?
Shocked. I was absolutely shocked and afraid. I'm standing there, and the verdict comes down. I say, how is that possible? Based off the evidence, based off the prosecution's evidence, let alone our evidence. How is that possible?
After the verdict, in a statement, Jabari's attorney wrote in part, "Justice was finally served today, proving that the truth can prevail even in the face of power. Grace did not choose to be in this situation. Grace has been publicly attacked as a result of her courage to testify to the truth, but her unwavering resolve to see this case through to the end was born out of her desire to give other survivors similar courage when justice requires." The prosecution has described your relationship with Grace Jabari as tumultuous and abusive. How would you describe that to your relationship?
I love Grace.
Oh man, he
Our
loves.
relationship was, it was not healthy, you know, and that began to reveal itself over time, but there was no abuse.
In court, Jabari claimed she sustained head injuries, but never said how she received them. Entered into evidence these partially redacted text messages from September of 2022. Majors writes, "It's just fake, and I fear you have no perspective of what could happen if you go to the hospital. They will ask you questions, and as I don't think you actually protect us, it could lead to an investigation, even if you do lie and they suspect something." Jabari responds in part, "I will tell the doctor I bumped my head. If I go, I'm going to give it one more day, but I can't sleep, and I need some stronger painkillers. That's all."
So stop. She didn't know. Remember, let's go back and listen. She didn't know how she ended up in the apartment like that anyway. She couldn't answer that. That was reasonable doubt. The video we saw him putting her back in the car is what they basically said was that he was too aggressive for defending himself. She admits I grabbed his phone out of his hand, and the jury didn't even consider that. So they said he wasn't intentionally guilty, but he was recklessly guilty. And as a result, Disney fired him. No, I want to tell you guys this. You got to realize something. So he's on ABC News, which is owned by Disney, and he's doing this interview where he talks about being fired by Disney, basically ostracized from Hollywood. This is an example, and this is what the true thing that Katt Williams is talking about, a plant. Who gave him this stuff, and who said he was the sexiest man alive? And now, when you've had just a brief run, you had all of these hit movies. You had Creed 3, you had Kane, all released in the same year. Ant-Man. You had a film that was premiered, I think, at the Sundance Film Festival that everybody was raving and talking about. That's all gone. The point is that the people who make you, they can break you in an instant if they want to.
Why would I want to tell them what really happened when it's clear I want to be with you?
This is literally a nightmare. I don't know what happened. I don't know what injuries you're talking about.
The July incident, 2022, where she says you started throwing things, including a candle. Tell us what happened there.
You know, we were in an argument. I was on the other side of the room, away from her, as I think she testified. And by my bedside table, I did a sweep, and I knocked over my candles. I completely lost my temper in that moment and threw it all on the ground. What she also said is that afterwards I wept and cried in the corner and said, "I'm sorry," and this. And I was, and I am.
The prosecution said you allegedly wrote, "I'm a monster, a horrible man, not capable of love. I'm killing myself soon. I've already put things in motion." Were you suicidal?
I've been diagnosed with severe depression, you know, and I'm taking the steps needed to alleviate, you know, some of those symptoms, ideations of removing myself from situations permanently is a thought that I've had, since I was a kid.
It all came to a head in March of last year when Jabari and Majors got into a fight, much of it captured on surveillance video and used as evidence in the trial. Jabari testified that it all began when Majors received a text from another woman. He says it read, "Oh, how I wish to be kissing you." So let's go back to March 25th for a moment. You and then girlfriend Grace Jabari are in the backseat of a chauffeured car. She sees a text from another woman. Things seem to spiral from there. Yeah. What happened next?
Yeah, the text from another woman. Again, I said at the beginning, you know, I did that. I cop to it. I show her, right? It's in my hand. She grabs it. We just go before the phone. I pull the phone back. I receive my injuries. I open the door. I step out. She comes. Then one of the biggest mistakes of my life. I pick her up. I put her back in the car. I'm trying to get rid of her. I'm trying to get away from her. As the video shows, you know, everything calms. We get out. We walk across the street. I escort her across the street. The moment we get across the street, she grabs me. She goes for the phone. I get free of her and I run.
For blocks?
Yeah, for blocks.
Surveillance video also shows Jabari talking to 3 strangers. She testified they offered to get her home. One of the bystanders can be seen speaking to Majors, who gestures for Jabari to get back into the car. He eventually leaves without her and goes to a hotel for the night. Jabari leaves with the bystanders. She says inside the car, you hit her in the face, twist her arm behind her back, fracture her middle finger.
Yeah, that did not happen.
What happened?
She went to grab the phone. I held the phone. I pulled the phone back. She came on top of me squeezed my face, slapped me. That's all I remember.
So she ends up
Yeah.
with a 1-inch cut behind her ear, and
Laceration, yes, ma'am.
fractured finger.
Yeah.
How did those injuries come about?
I wish to God I knew. That would give clarity. That would give me some type of peace about it.
But you're confident you didn't.
I have no question.
What's interesting about the jury's verdict, it's so nuanced because they're saying you didn't intend
Right.
to injure her,
Right.
but the result of your recklessness
Right.
injured her.
Right.
Were you reckless?
I was reckless with her heart,
Not with her body,
not with her body.
but never hit a woman.
Never hit a woman. My hands have never struck a woman, ever. When the actual testimony came, the driver said, she did everything, meaning Grace, he did nothing, referring to myself.
Majors claims Jabari attacked him, ripping his coat, scratching his face and arm. These are photos he says are of his injuries, but were deemed inadmissible in court.
My injuries were I scratched.
So he had injuries from this incident, and they would not allow him. The judge would not allow this evidence in court. They allowed her stuff to come in. They allowed text messages from 2022, but they didn't allow proof of his injuries to come in that he said came from her. The question is, did the defense attorneys preserve this in the record? I'm starting to think, Keenan, men should abandon women, period, and just live on an island, see how good they can do for themselves. See what women think, well, I can do all good by myself. I don't need a man. See what happens. I perish the thought. I don't want to be around men. I'm not gay, but this is why marriage rates are low right now. This is why some men are not committed to women because they don't want to go through this drama. This is somebody who supposedly has shot out of nowhere, Jonathan Majors. I saw him in a movie, did The Five Bloods. I thought the brother was great. Same thing with Caden the Conqueror. I said, this guy can act. He can act his ass off. But when he did Lovecraft Country, I thought he was good. Anybody could see, even if you got both of your eyes plucked out, that this was a setup.
On my hand, from clawing for the phone.
And the judge, to me, the jury, the fact this judge would not allow this evidence in speaks volumes. I hope he's better appeal this. If he doesn't, that tells me this is set up.
On my,
Sure.
I had a beard. Under my beard, I had essentially a fingernail scratch on my cheek from pressure.
You chose not to take the witness stand. Why?
Yes,
Doesn't have to.
You felt that was compelling enough. He had said enough.
Well, not just the driver. She was doing everything, he was doing nothing. Well, that's what I was going to say. Mr. Majors, did you see any injuries on her? No, I didn't. Clinical experts, the detective I spoke to, all who testified before I did. But after all of that, what was I going to add?
During the trial, an audio recording was presented in court by the prosecution of Jonathan Majors and Grace Jabari during an argument.
How dare you come home trying to disturb the peace of our house? Coretta Scott King. You know who that is? That's Martin Luther King's wife. Michelle Obama. Barack Obama's wife. My temper, my shit, my trauma, all that said, right? And let's say I'm a great man. A great man. I am doing great things, not just for me, but for my culture and for the world. That is actually the position I'm in. The woman that supports me, that I support, that needs to be a great woman.
There are some who question, especially in the Black community, as you're probably well aware, that people were saying, well, why was he telling this woman to be like Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama? Give us like the context of the conversation.
It was me trying to give an analogy of what it is I'm aspiring to be. These great men, Martin, President Obama, and trying to give a reference point to that. I was attempting, and I did a terrible job at it, apparently. I was attempting to motivate, to enlighten, to give perspective as into what it is I was hoping to get out of the relationship. I think that's fair.
In her closing argument, your attorney said that your greatest fear of being a Black man in America calling 911 came true, suggesting that race was a part of this. Do you feel that race is a part of this?
I mean, of course it is, without question. I mean, that quote unquote guilty verdict, guilty verdict, no quote unquote, you might as well put that on my birth certificate.
You think a white man facing the same allegations would have been arrested, charged, convicted?
I'll take it further. If you watch those videos and you reverse that, and you saw a black man chasing a young white girl down the street, screaming and crying, that man is going to be shot and killed in the streets of New York City. That black man will feel that.
Manhattan District.
So why are you messing with her? Why'd you mess with her? You knew that. Why would you mess with it? She was from last year at least. You knew this woman had problems. The top was that good?
District Attorney Alvin Bragg's office responded saying in part that they do their speaking in court. Jabari's attorney responded to this interview saying, it is not at all surprising that Mr. Majors continues to take no accountability for his actions. His denigration of our jury system is not dissimilar from the above-the-law attitude that he has maintained throughout this legal process. The timing of these new statements demonstrates a clear lack of remorse for the actions for which he was found guilty and should make the sentencing decisions fairly easy for the court. Mr. Jabari will continue to speak the truth and seek justice in the appropriate forums in a continued effort to respect our legal process. Grace, as you know, was arrested and charged for assault, but will not face prosecution.
Right.
You have thoughts on that?
That's hurtful. That's really hurtful. And why is it hurtful? Because, again, I know what happened. Movies don't matter. Work don't matter. Yale education doesn't matter. In that moment, what I felt was, oh, I'm nothing.
Throughout the trial, Major's girlfriend, actress Megan Good, was right by his side. She was also present for our conversation. You've mentioned Megan a few times.
Yeah.
We've seen her right by your side, going in and out of court throughout the whole trial.
Yeah.
How would you describe your relationship?
It's a miracle. She's an angel. She's held me down like a Coretta, you know?
Oh,
I'm so blessed.
Stop with the Coretta references, please. Ain't nobody Dr. King's wife. Megan Good is not Dr. King's wife. She left her reverend husband. He divorced her. Oh my God. He divorced her for a reason. Ugh. Ugh. He's got this obsession with Coretta.
The relationship
Coretta
is
and Michelle.
still fresh, but you know, I think I found her. Yeah.
The one.
I hope she just stick with me.
Major's career as a rising Hollywood actor is now in limbo. Future appearances playing Kang the Conqueror in the Marvel Cinematic Universe have been scrapped. You hear the verdict.
Yeah.
The same day Marvel dropped you. Your reaction?
Same hour. Same half hour, I think. It's like the world stopped.
Mm.
You know, it's like you work so hard for things, and then it was done. You know, and in that same breath, I thought, man, that was cool.
How so?
I was a supervillain, you know, and I got to play multiple characters, you know, with a group of people that really cared nothing about anything else except making really cool movies and giving their actors whatever they need to tell those stories. And I'm so proud of it.
You think you'll ever work in Hollywood again?
Yeah. I pray I do. But it's God's plan and God's timing.
For those who say, look, he's convicted at this point, what would you say? I mean, do you deserve a second chance?
I think I do. I think I do. I hope other people think that.
Majors is set to be sentenced next month, but says he and his legal team plan to appeal.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.
All right. Yeah, Jonathan Major, yeah, I'm hoping, you know, he's hoping his career can come back. He saw him wipe his tears away. Maybe Megan could get him a part on her Harlem TV show. Since he was all pinked out, wearing out in Ebony magazine, she might be able to get him to make an appearance as a boyfriend in the next season of Harlem or something like that. You know, I'm gonna watch that shit. So they got that, and they got We Run the World, which is on Stars. They don't have any black male TV series on black male TV series. I'm gonna rephrase that. There's no TV series on professional black men. I don't think you ever had one. Have there? What's the closest that we've ever had? I would say New York Undercover, but it was black and Latino. I'm talking about professionals. Let's say attorneys. If those shows were there, you notice that they never lasted a season. If they even lasted a season, they probably only lasted 13 episodes. Remember the TV series Kevin Hill? That's probably the closest one I remember with Tay Diggs before he was even putting on dresses and stuff. Kevin Hill was on UPN. Yeah, and Tay Diggs was a lawyer who got custody of his 10-month-old cousin. And Megan Good was on this show. It only lasted one season. What? I know nothing about that book, y'all. You telling me you saying TD Jakes got arrested? Why are we talking about that? I don't know nothing about that. I don't see anything like that, man. If he got arrested, this thing, don't you? It would be on NBC, ABC. I don't see nothing like that. I see YouTubers putting that. I don't post that. Like after that situation with Chantrell Robinson, who got killed, and they said they made an arrest, and then they said it wasn't true. I had to retract that, so I'm not going there. But, the show Kevin Hill, I may have seen 1 or 2 episodes of it. It was decent. Megan Good was actually in that show, by the way. Christina Hendricks, who y'all know, if you know Christina Hendricks, she had a breakout role in Mad Men. She's more known because she's a very attractive, shapely redhead. She's in that film too. She's actually from Tennessee, by the way. Y'all remember Christina Hendricks? Oh, Nino, it's not true, Bookie. I don't see anything like that. I'm gonna stay away from it. If it's in the news, if it's on ABC or NBC, CBS, you'll see it. Then it's probably true. But if it's not reported or nothing, I don't see that. Yeah, but that's Christina Hendricks. But yeah, Kevin Hill was on UPN. You picked a Negro. Of course, we know most of these TV shows, they get their start from black people. Actually, that's how most of those programs get started. But yeah, getting back to Jonathan Majors, it's a sad situation, obviously for him, for somebody who came up, how he came up and was able to accomplish so much in so little time, and now it's thrown away by a walking stick. I think it's a shame, but you know, you gotta have not only a backup plan, my brothers, who are working in Hollywood, but also you gotta have people around you who can protect you and watch your back. I think a big problem here, he trusted the wrong person with his genetic legacy. Even though they weren't talking about marriage, if this is a girlfriend, obviously he's cheating if he's messing around on her. They're not married. So if he wanted to find and play the field, that's what he did. But I would have broke it off with her a long time ago when she went to the hospital first time. It would have been best to break it off. And the fact she was even, remember, she recorded their conversation before this incident that he got arrested for. That tells me everything you need to know. She was trying to get dirt on him. She was getting dirt on him. That's what this was about. So we're gonna wrap this up, y'all. Please be sure you see the ticker at the bottom. If you love me for my time, pay me for my time. Also, you can order The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby on Amazon Kindle. That's the best way to get the book. And I will be back on Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. We'll talk more with our brother Sean James. I'm gonna wrap this up. You all be one, be safe, and be blessed. We're gonna take calls. Actually, I'll probably take calls on Thursday. So, all right, family. All right, but right around here, I'm gonna wrap this up. But look, you all, like I said, if you're in Hollywood, you get acting, and look, I do screenwriting and stuff, and I do business with people. Please, please, please have a backup plan. But most importantly, have people to watch out for you, because you never know when this stuff might end. Like I said, they make you, then they can break you. And Jonathan Majors is a prime example of that. Good night, family. Be one, be safe, and be blessed. I'll holla. Peace. I need a pizza.